Paulo, the other big story that we're watching for you and have been for the past week is activities around the Lebombo Border Post, as most people now rush home to hopefully get in time for Christmas. About 300,000 travelers have crossed the Lebombo Border Post to Mozambique since the beginning of December. Motorists and truck drivers being urged to, in fact, some of them raising concerns about congestion that they've experienced there. Let's get you a sense of the situation with SABC News reporter Ntamula Mabasa, who joins us now live from near the border post itself. And Ntamula, it's not an ideal way for anyone to spend this Christmas morning, but several people there, unfortunately, are still waiting to get to the other side.
Good morning, Ayanda. Again, we managed to get to the border. We had to be escorted to get here. As I mentioned a bit earlier, that it was quite a challenge, rather mission impossible to get to the border gate. But just for us to understand what is happening here, I'll just move a bit out of shot just to show you a bit what is currently happening before we can talk to the commissioner and to actually explain to us as to what is happening, because he did mention that usually by this time, Christmas Day, there's usually no lines. It's usually quiet, but as you can see through our visuals, it's quite bad here. As you could see earlier on where we were when you spoke to us 30 minutes ago, it's still snaky queues. But for more on this, we will welcome Dr. Mike Masiapato, who's the Commissioner of BMA. Good morning. What is happening here this morning?
No, thank you very much, Ntamulu. Yeah, indeed, we were talking yesterday, very late in the night, and I think you actually witnessed the fact that all of the people that were here yesterday were all processed. So on that basis, we did not expect the people on this day to be the way they are, So on that basis, we can confirm that yesterday we've been able to process around 30,152 individuals. That has not happened ever in any of the land ports. That is the kind of number that you will get at OR Tambo. Now, for instance, yesterday Lebombo actually even surpassed OR Tambo itself. We did 24,000 in OR Tambo, and we did around 16,000 in Bait Bridge. And as I'm talking to you now, in all of the various ports, everything is settled. But it's only here that since this morning, actually from around 3 o'clock in the morning, then they started flooding through into the port. And of course, we had to make sure that we continue to do the processing. So as we speak now, we've been doing the processing, and up to this point, we can say that everything is still going according to plan. The challenge is, as we process, the taxis keep on bringing more and other cars keeps on coming. So we are not going to end. I mean, the plan obviously was to say that today we're just doing the touch-ups and we will be going. But the way things are going now, it doesn't look like we will be going anytime soon. We just have to make sure that we deal with the situation and get everybody out as they're supposed to.
When we spoke to you a bit earlier on, you mentioned that the Mozambican counterparts will be here. I think the minister you mentioned. What are we expecting from that visit?
Yeah, remember yesterday we did have the Commissioner of Police from Mozambique. We basically had him here and we had some conversation with them around issues of security around the port and their contribution and the partnership that we have with them. So today we are going to have the Minister of Home Affairs, actually they call the Minister of Interior from Home Affairs that side. He is actually going to arrive just now. The intention is for them to also come and see the volumes that we are dealing with in the port. We do understand that one of the main reasons why people are actually coming in these numbers is because last year, because there was a protest during this period, most people could not go home. So on that basis, this time around, literally everybody said we are actually going home because they have something like 24 months without even gone home. And that is part of the issue. So they are coming to be able to see that we are processing. Sometimes people think that maybe it's because the processing is slow. The processing is not slow. As we said yesterday, we have 30 counters where we are doing the processing. The issue is just the volumes. So as you process, they keep on coming. As we process, they keep on coming. Hence the numbers that we are talking about. From where we are sitting, even when we do the aggregation, we have actually now surpassed 350,000 people just in the past, I would say, seven days. So that is a very serious number. We do think that when we do the overall aggregation, ultimately, we'll be sitting with almost 500,000 that will be processed just here in Lebombo, as it were.
But what does this mean? Because yesterday we were talking about you are limping in terms of staff complement on the ground. How are we going to make sure that there's no lawlessness, whether even driving towards the border? what strategies or what is in place for you to try and make sure that you are able to continue processing with no hurdles?
I think on the issue of criminality, yesterday I was talking to the provincial commissioner, the acting provincial commissioner from Mpumalanga, General Mkwanazi, and they did bring in more additional SAPS members to assist us in terms of the corridor, but also in terms of dealing with the general issues of criminality. And by the way, I can also confirm that over 324 individuals yesterday were intercepted on the mountain by members of the SANDF and members of the BMA, the border guards, trying to exit the country illegally. So those ones, we brought them in. So if you aggregate the numbers also of the interception just in the past 3 days, it's more than 500. So at the end, there is a lot that is being done in terms of criminality and all of that. We basically strive with that through partnership. In terms of processing, let me also say this. We have taken the border guards outside of the port environment. They are sitting behind computers. So if we talk about the deployment in terms of human resource, all the computers are actually having a person behind. So there is no any other further deployment we can do around issues of immigration. So all computers are taken care of, and that is why outside we do have members of the police. They are assisting us. And of course, the traffic are actually on the corridor. The issue of ill discipline for the drivers unfortunately continues. The other unfortunate issue that we've observed, more and more people that are coming, especially in the morning, they come also drunk, and therefore they become unruly and it becomes a bit difficult. That is why we had to get additional police to come and assist us.
I can confirm that as we were driving in, even though it was difficult, SANDF is there, police is there. Police visibility rather today is way better than yesterday. But we will be catching up with you a bit later on before you leave. There you have it, Ayanda. He has said a mouthful. It's quite busy here, quite a hive of activity here at the Lebombo Port of Entry. Ayanda?
All right, Ntamuno Mabasa live to us there, as you heard, from the Lebombo Border Post between South Africa and Mozambique.